Dear friends, welcome to this discussion. Honorable Chief Justice of India, outgoing Chief Justice of India, Honorable Chandrachud has confessed in a recent lecture, speech about the Ram Bhoomi judgment. We all know that we believed almost all the Hindus believed, crores of Hindus believed that place where the Babri Masjid was erected is on the ruins of the temple that was there earlier, where Lord Ram, Lala Ram, the child, was born. This issue was burning for decades and became a politically sensitive issue. And finally, a judgment was delivered by the 5 bench judges. And significantly, there was nobody signed that judgment. And maybe it gives an impression it is the God who has come and signed. And there ended the matter. Then further, the other chief justices, other judges who were party to the judgment, immediately after their retirement, they were given assignments, post-retirement benefits. That's what the people who criticize say. But that is one part of it. For example, the Honorable NCLAT was chaired by Ashok Bhushan sir, and he is such a wonderful person. People feel is accepting to be the chairperson of the NCLAT is very nice, kind, and person. So we are not saying such a talented people, why should they not be considered for the post-retirement benefits? Because 65 years is the retirement age, which is very, very small. And why the retiring judges should reject to accept, because judge position they get nothing. They start doing arbitration, they'll make millions of rupees. Be as it may, that's not the topic for us. But then Honorable Chief Justice spoke that he was so confused, and for 3 months he was thinking and thinking and thinking, and finally he prayed Lord Ram to give a solution. So it has become a matter of great discussion all over India in the legal circles, and all. And be as it may, as on date, if you see, we do have a temple built, and this is the beautiful temple that is there before us. And the Honorable Chief Justice, it is the one published by all the media. We picked up the Indian Express. Chief Justice of India, Chandrachud, was part of the five-judge bench headed by the then Chief Justice of India that delivered the historic verdict on November 9, 2019. The bench settled the long-standing disputes by paving way for the construction of the Ram temple in Ayodhya, while also ruling that a mosque would be built on an alternative 5-acre plot in the same city. CJ Chandrachud had also visited the Ram temple in Ayodhya in July this year and offered prayers. The idol consecration of the temple took place on 22nd June 23 in the presence of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We all know that this Ram Bhoomi issue was the reason for the growth of the right-wing politicians and the BJP usurping the power with a great mandate in 2014. And in the 2024 elections, this was considered to be the real trump card for the BJP government to come back to the power with a sweeping majority of 420. But we all know that the place where the Ramlala temple was constructed rejected the BJP. So Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha has been established. That is one thing. But the long-standing dispute, burning issue, passions were running high, politicians were using it for promoting their interests, has been solved for once for all. So that's what Indian Express wrote. The bench settled the long-standing dispute by paving the way for construction of Ram Temple, Ayodhya, and also made sure that nobody is discriminated, ruling that mosque would be built on an alternative 5-acre plot in the same city. See, there only one has to understand. So here the question is, everybody say we are wedded to constitution. Yes, the judge has to be wedded to the constitution, but constitution is nothing but a creation of the people of India. It is we, the people of India, that's what starts the constitution. And it is an organic document. We wanted this document to serve the interest of generations. And the issue, if you see, to put an end to the burning issue and keep the people of India in peace. That was achieved or not? That is the issue we should see. The larger interest, the Bentham's theory that maximum good to the maximum people would have been the driving force. We will take up for discussion a little later on this. But this is what the Honorable Chief Justice delivered. That created a lot of issue for discussion.
Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, on Sunday said he had prayed to God for a solution to the Ram Jam will find a way if one has faith. He was addressing residents of he was felicitated. He said, and I quote, "Very often we have cases, but we don't arrive Ram Janmabhoomi Babri Masjid dispute, which was in front of me for 3 months, as solution." Asserting that he prays regularly, the CJI said, and I quote, "Believe me, if you have faith, God will always find a way." On November 9,
now, dear friends, what is that lordships have said? This is not a justification. It is a true confession. It is a true confession of a highly learned person. If you see the lordships, the way he was brought up and the simplicity, the kindness, and what we have earlier we made one. This is not an exercise to praise the Honorable Chief Justice, who is outgoing Chief Justice. But the way he explained, we will explain what could be the interpretation. He never said that I asked the God to give a solution. He had found the solution. Everybody would have agreed, we need a solution. Anybody would find that this is a solution, not entirely depending on the interpretation of Constitution or interpretation of Constitution to serve the peace and tranquility of the 140 crore people. That is how it should be interpreted. See, it is not like that he never had, he totally confused. And then he went and said before Lord Ram, and Lord Ram told him, you pass this order. That is what is being interpreted, which is not correct. The solution is before us. The majority of the people, including the Muslim people, wanted a solution, which is being misused by the politicians. One. What is the solution? It is a strong belief that the temple was there. Lord Ram was born in that place. It's a belief. Everything is belief. And it is the invaders, the Muslims who came as invaders, they have built, demolished the Ram temple that was existing, and they constructed the masjid. And the masjid was broken, as we all know that. We could have got number of solutions, but this would be the best possible solution. You see, there is nothing called one solution for an issue. And the best possible solution, taking into consideration the maximum interest of maximum people's interest. Understand? So therefore, he has decided. And after taking decision, concurring with all these things, after seeing that it forms one of the constitutional principles of the thing, then he said before the God. See, many of us take decisions, we don't know the outcome. Particularly such emotive, sensational issues and all. Even our parents, when we're dealing with them, because we are thinking they have long-term consequences. The conscience that we have will prick us. You're dealing with your mother, father, brothers and sisters. How do you deal with them? How the society will react? Forget about the society. The conscience, that is the God sitting within you, will punish you or will agree with you. These are all factors. That is how the judgment has to be looked at. Now we'll proceed. The constitutional people of India and the Chief Justice of India. I'm talking about this particular judgment. And you cannot say, then what happened to that judgment? And why electoral bonds, they declared it is illegal, but then did not ask for recovery of money. Why the Maharashtra constitution, they declared the person is illegal, and then why did like that? So many things the people are raising. Highly is criticized for this. And that this is the issue. And what is your answer? What should be the judgment? Interpretation as per the constitution. Do you want to say, give back this to reconstruct Babri Masjid on that? Can that be a solution? Now, if you see,
but look at the judge.
Honorable Justice.
When you sit on the dais as a judge, maybe as a civil.
Honorable Justice Abhay Oka, it took. He is such a respected and revered judge of the Supreme Court. Everybody will agree. Very determined. Every aspect of judge character is there. Now, we knew that how ED was misused. The fundamental rights of the people under trials, and how he dealt with. He warned ED, one day you will become 498. So, the definition that you are wedded, he says that in this speech that you are wedded only to two things, the constitution and provision of law. That is 90%. But if you text this into, people are quoting this as the basis. But this cannot be interpreted like that, is my humble opinion. And of course, I'm not saying that they are so great judges and one of the best of the judges. What we are trying to say is, Constitution is the Bible or Bhagavad Gita for all of us, all of the judges and the lawyers who argue. But cases like this, that's what the Chief Justice was telling. The situations, if you go back to the judges, Chief Justice, if you see what he said, you see very carefully.
And asserted God will find a way if one has faith.
That's it.
He was addressing residents of his native Kanharsera village. He said, and I quote, something similar happened during Ayodhya Ram Jhanma Bhoomi Babri Masjid dispute, which was in front of me for 3 months to find a solution.
So here the literal interpretation is like that. But actually, he didn't mean that. You understand? You are giving you finally in our life, whether you are great, intelligent or top, ultimately everything will happen as per the blessings of the God. Whether you are a rationalist, whether you are a Mahatma Gandhi who believes or Nehru who doesn't believe in God, ultimately it is the destiny that there is a divine force that controls us. That is how it should be taken. It is not that the Lord Ram came and wrote the judgment. That is how it is being interpreted by all of them. Right. Now you can see the very adverse criticism by a very eminent Dushyant Dave, Prashant Bhushan. They are all very, very relevant to the system. Wire that Siddharth Vardarajan sir and all. They are the people who will be protecting the democratic functioning of this great nation. Therefore, we have to listen to them. And Karan Thapar and all. So we cannot write down. We are taking this side of the story also. And let us take that, what he says.
It establishes accountability. Judges are proud. They are not, therefore, governor judge gives a judgment. He takes up the law. Now, therefore, for him to say at times that I can't find solutions is a very technique. And if you were to sit in Chief Justice Chandrachud's court, in sometimes rather, in an extraordinary hurry, say that.
So here, if you see, if you detailedly read what Mr. Daviji is saying, it's not that all judgments that come before any judge can be decided instantaneously. Primarily, that's why 90% is possible. But the judge did not say all that. Second point, he says the Honorable Chief Justice decided many cases extremely fast, which we are going to take up that also. It is a point. But they have to be distinguished. Your comments are based on what the Honorable Chief Justice said with regard to Ram Janmabhoomi issue. And that must be the basis for discussion. It cannot be generalized. Lord Ram's issue is not something, it is inbuilt into the system of all of us, whether you are Hindu or a Muslim or anybody, because Ram is a personification of Dharma. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharma. Therefore, even in this case of discussion, he did not justify how another solution is possible for Ram Janmabhoomi and what way Honorable Chief Justice was wrong. It cannot be generalized. That is what my context is. Now you can see some filings of Lord Chief Justice. Honorable Justice Muralidhar, you see this judge of, when he was the Chief Justice, retired as Orissa High Court, and that did not happen. The great judge got. Then why marriage of justice to a great person unto nation? So much you would have seen. Nobody ever had this sort of a welcome. That's one thing which I felt is to be mentioned. And another great judge from Madras is a chartered accountant also. And he was also not got the opportunity. Maybe that's a destiny, let's put it like this. But Honorable Chief Justice could have done. This is what the people's feeling. And here comes that one more injustice, what everybody feels is a judgment delivered by Honorable Justice S.M. Subramaniam bench. This Honorable Judge is a highly respected judge, and he passed a judgment. Constitutionally, the question before them was the habeas corpus, the two girls, the father asked for it. But then taking a holistic view, like Ram Janmabhoomi issue, the judgment was delivered. The Lordship's question, Madras High Court's issue was, you are a saintly person. Jaggi, Sadguru Jaggi is a saintly person. And here is the parents who grew up the children, two children, girls, are frustrated, burning with, affection lost. And in their old age, they want to talk to their children. And they want, the Jaggi was there to help them to balance themselves. Why should you treat your parents as enemies? And is it not the duty of such a Sadguru, instead of making them sannyasinis? And that is how the case went on. But then when the matter went to Honorable Chief Justice made mention, the three judgment, no, he's such a reputed person. So he has made up his mind that Jaggi Vasudev is a very reputed person. Maybe because Babas are sadhus and those people are respected heavily in North India. Whereas in South India, where a rationalistic approach is very much dominant, they have a different view. And so this particular issue should have been, it is not a literal interpretation like constitution, as their lordships said for Ram Janmabhoomi issue. That was the point. And there is a heavy criticism of Honorable Chief Justice by one judge of this Kapna High Court. Now, but I had been to Supreme Court on 22nd, and this became a big topic. Everybody was talking because on 21st, I think, if I'm right, the lordships have said. So most of them were asking why the Honorable Chief Justice at this juncture, he is almost leaving the place, said this. And everybody said, see, Chief Justice is such a brilliant and knowledgeable person. He doesn't expect a post-retirement job. Even if he takes the job, it will be making good to the job rather than to himself. Point one. And secondly, most of them feel he was balancing between the powerful central government led by Mr. Modi, Honorable Prime Minister, and the objectives he wanted to achieve. His main goal is to ensure the access to justice. I think he is very much focused on that only, for which you need large infrastructure, huge funds. To achieve that main, as a lot top leaders work like that. You have 100 problems, but then main one, if you solve, everything will fall in place. Nobody ever thinks he is having any other objectives. Highly respected for his integrity, intelligence, kindness, simplicity. But then they feel he expresses his views very often. But actually that's very, very important. He is such a towering personality, and the contributions of him, if not today, in the coming days, nation will realize how much good he has done. And all those things which you are questioning, that will be passing with the time. It's not whatever is solved is very tangible. If suppose electoral bonds is there, anything is there, they can always be re-adjudicated. That's what is happening. So therefore, entire seniors were feeling that the amount of service he did for access to justice is extraordinarily good. Somebody was telling NCL he was not willing to, but then he persuaded, did everything. And so, as a leader, no, he's a well-trained leader, management expert. So he thought the main focus should be that. In between, he took it. And they never vitiated himself or wavered himself. That is what is the assessment, majority of the people. Now, the one that His Lordships has done, and Lord Ram is something symbol for majority of the people's happiness. And in fact, I myself sung this small thing. Now, very interesting thing by the doyen of the legal profession who argued this Ram Janmabhoomi issue spoke about the issue. Please listen.
I'm deeply grateful to Lord Ram. One thing I forgot to tell you. Judgment was delivered on Saturday. On Monday night, 8:45, at Delhi, in the residence in which I am, about escape. Can't imagine so many monkeys, and that too night at 8:45. Therefore, and they were playing, jumping, kicking. In the next house construction going on, they won't kick the tin which is covered throat to avoid any pollution. There is a drumstick tree in the service lane. They broke almost all the branches of the tree. It's almost the tree now standing only one or two branches. The hand of God has played. Now Ram has taken care of it. 69 years he waited.
Now, finally, dear friends, it is the nation, the future is going to decide the issue.
हमारी संस्कृति, ये संस्कार महान ग्रंथों और का प्रार्थना।
अपने पांडित्य से मुझे मत भरमाओ विभीषण। तुम अच्छी प्रकार जानते हो कि जीवन में कई बार वह अवसर आता है जिसे धर्म संकट का समय कहते हैं, जब यह निर्णय करना कठिन हो जाता है कि उस समय प्राणी का क्या धर्म है। हर प्राणी अपने अपने संस्कारों के अनुसार ही अपने अपने धर्म का निश्चय करता है। क्या धर्म है, क्या अधर्म है, इसकी व्याख्या देश और काल के अनुसार सबकी अलग अलग होती है।
So, thank you, dear friends, for watching my video.